Hey, welcome to Steelers Pre-Snap. Luther Dupree here. As always, I got Claudio Rosano in the house, Smoking Jim Frazier. What's up, fellas?
What's happening, guys? What's happening?
Hey, Lou.
All right. 8-0, undefeated season so far. Is it another trap game with the Bengals coming up? I don't know. We're going to get into all that, but let's review this Dallas game real quick. I'll start it off with Smoking Jim, who was way off on this prediction, I believe, last week. What happened, Smoking Jim?
Well, I predicted Dallas was going to win the game with a six-string quarterback, and they almost did. Hey, listen, man. I thought at times that Larry Allen, Nate Newton, and Mark Stanowski was on the offensive line where they blowing the Steelers out. Listen, I got to give credit to Mike McCarthy, who always wanted to be a coach here. Mike McCarthy changed his defense to the Chicago 46 defense, and at times it looked like the Miami no-name defense. And also he found flaws after flaws after flaws in the Pittsburgh Steelers special team. And I also got to give credit to Coach Mike Tomlin. He did an excellent coaching job. He lived in his fears by not going for it on 4th down and 1 because Mike McCarthy discovered a flaw with rookie Kevin Dotson in a field goal and extra point game that he was able to hook him and come right up the middle. They should have blocked a 59-yarder. So I believe that Mike Tomlin did a great job of living in his fears and going for it on 4th down because that field goal would have been blocked.
Wow. All right. Claudia, what do you have for us, man?
I'm on the other side of the page. I thought McCarthy did a terrible job when he didn't go for it on 4th and inches. What do you have to lose? You're 2-5. You're not guaranteed getting that close again, okay, with a new quarterback against the Steelers defense. I thought that was a dumb call. And also what it did was it killed the momentum. Cito Gaston, a former manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, I learned this from him. If you get a big hit, the next play, steal a base, do a hit and run, do a bunt, do something to continue the momentum. McCarthy put the brakes on the momentum. Tomlin, I think, did a terrible job by not kicking a field goal and adding points to the board, making it an 8-point lead. And also, every week I come here and I say that the Steeler coaching staff did a great job in making adjustments at halftime. They didn't make good adjustments this time with special teams because obviously they were afraid about getting a block kick. And the other thing that I was not crazy about was what I say last week against the new quarterback, blitz him, change things. They didn't blitz him at all. They didn't put any pressure on him at all, which gave Gilbert all the time in the world to do whatever he wanted to do, run, hit his targets, and they should have made the game harder for him. But having said that, they are 8-0, and I'll get to more of that on my huddle.
All right, I hear what you guys are saying. This was a much tougher game than I thought it was going to be. I thought they would really get to this quarterback again with some of the changes on defense. I was surprised that Dallas was able to move the ball the way that they did. But once again, as Jim, I told you, Minkah Fitzpatrick was just rounding into the shape. We saw another pick. We saw another big play at the end of the game. Minkah's rounding in shape. And today we'll see a difference because Mike Hilton is back. Tyson Alualu is back. So we'll be back to more of the Steelers D. We have a rookie quarterback, and the defense will do what they need to do. All right, let's go to this. We put another segment into this. Anybody else want to add to that? All right, looks like we got it. Any comments, just send them in, and we'll bring you guys up on screen as well when you get it. And we'll put the link in there in case you all want to jump on here as well. Claudio, let's jump in. We did say we were going to start with some awards midway through the season. What awards would you give out? A couple of things that we had mentioned were let's do the offensive MVP up to this point. Who do you have for the offensive MVP, Claudia?
think it's pretty obvious it has to be Ben. He may not be putting up the numbers that he used to. He might not be putting up the numbers that some of the other quarterbacks are putting up. And I'm not going to call him – I'm not saying he's managing the game either. But I definitely have to give it to him. I think he's doing a good job. His QB rating is good. It's even better when he's no huddle. He's taking charge. He's definitely the leader of the offense. People respect him. And I think the big thing is the other team fears him because you never know when he's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. So without question, I think it's Roethlisberger. And last year, 8-8 without him, and so far this year, 8-0 with him.
All right, Smoker Jim, you have anybody different? Or you going with Big Ben as well?
Well, I would go with Russell Wilson, but he's a corny brother, and I can't vote for corny brothers, even though I love him as a football player. But hey, let's face it, Ben Roethlisberger and Vance McDonald have been shooting off their mouth about COVID. Karma come back and bit the Steelers in the butt. Listen, you know what I mean? It is, you don't know how we can avoid COVID. You can do everything possible, like the Tennessee Titans was doing. They were doing everything correct, but Vance McDonald and Ben Roethlisberger and half the Steelers are pointing the finger, and now they're in isolation. Hey, listen, Ben's never received a vote for MVP. The reason is the local media hate him. Listen, Ed Bouchette and many local media guys get votes. Free lunch, Ed Bouchette never gave Ben a vote for MVP. Mid-season MVP, Steelers are 8-0. Ben's playing well, like Claudio said. He should be an MVP. But here's a prediction. He won't get a vote again this year. They don't like Ben.
Well, if I can interrupt, I thought you meant Steeler. I thought you meant Steeler offensive MVP.
I did mean in the Steelers.
Oh, I thought you meant the NFL.
No, I Steelers
just like I didn't receive a call for the City League championship. We didn't understand your question either.
He missed the city championship game last night.
Never gave me a call.
He just likes to throw a jab at Russell Wilson every week. Jim just likes to throw a jab at Russell Wilson. That's it.
You're mad because you don't have Sierra. It's okay, Smoking Jim. Of course, I'm going to go with you guys. It has to be Ben. No one else is really putting up those offensive numbers. Ben's been spreading the ball out pretty good. So, of course, it has to be him. Defensive MVP for the Steelers. It'd be too easy to say TJ Watt. Definitely he has to be mentioned. But I think Stephon Tuitt has been a big surprise. Him coming back second in league in sacks. He has about 6.5. You know, I'd say TJ and Stephon Tuitt needs to get some love for defensive MVP. Smoking Jim, I see you shaking your head again.
Well, we could vote anybody for cherry picking. I mean, he cherry picking off of TJ Watt, making it easy. There's 2 games this year. He only had 1 tackle the whole game. You know what I mean? Me and Claudio only one behind him from our TV set. Tuitt's most overrated big man I've ever seen.
He's playing this year, Jim.
Vince Williams leads the NFL in tackle for losses. I would give him some votes before I would give it to Tuitt, who's cherry picking off the same side with TJ Watt. But TJ Watt, when you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you think of TJ Watt, the greatest linebacker in Steeler history, maybe the greatest defensive player in Steeler history. You know, right up there with Mean Joe Green. But hey, TJ Watt is this guy just hustles, and he is the quickest off the ball of anybody in the NFL. That's been proven. And I tell you what, I'm going with all white this year. Ben and TJ Watt.
It figures. Way to throw it in there. All right, Claudio, who do you have? Of course, we got TJ Watt. I mean, what can you say? And I said Stephon Tuitt should get some love as well. Do you have another one, or you pretty much agree?
I'm going to continue with the white praise, and let's go with TJ Watt. I mean, he's obviously having a great season. Offenses are concentrating on him, which allows Tuitt and other players to do their thing. But I think he's going to be a finalist for the NFL Defensive MVP. So you got to give it to him. He's a disruptor. Although last week I thought they didn't allow him to play his game with the no blitz, but I like him.
All right, Lester Holmes, come on, Jim, laugh out loud. All right, he's getting tired of your stick. I feel him on that, Lester. Come on, Jim. All right, maybe our biggest let's go with most improved. Claudio, who would you have for most improved player this year?
I think Ray McLeod, biggest surprise. That'll be the next thing. Ray McLeod, I think, has done a great job, and I still think he's going to be a Pro Bowl player. He's you talk about splash plays, and where do you get bigger splash plays? Can you get bigger splash plays in special teams? I think he's done a great job. The team trusts him, and I think the more weeks go by, especially going into the playoffs, he's going to prove how valuable he is, and he's going to make the other teams very nervous. Right now, he's still under the radar a little bit, I think, but I think he's come a long way from where he started. Who thought about him at the beginning of the season? So I give him a lot of credit. I'm very happy for him.
I agree. All right, Lester's on it again. Watt benefits from Dupree. Remember that. That's true. They benefit from each other, Jim. I mean, it's a defensive linebacker thing. If one guy's bringing it, you'll get some. So I like that. All right, appreciate that, Lester. All right, Smoking Jim, most improved.
Well, bubblegum chewing special team coach Danny Smith is a child only a mother can love and only a coach that a Tomlin would hire. This is the worst special team coach in the history of the game, man. You know what I mean? And they looked up with McLeod. They had no idea who he was. But listen, I can't give it to McLeod. I can't give it to McLeod because he wasn't on the Steeler team last year. Most improved is a guy that was on the Steeler team last year. They wrote him off like James Harrison. It got to be Robert Stonewall Spillane. Again, they give up a draft choice to get this bum from the Jets, Avery Williamson, and he already said after practicing with the Stonewall Spillane that he would be happy playing on special teams. He just want to be a factor and not a participator. So, hey, you got to give it to Robert Stonewall Spillane. I think he's won a job at either Bush or Vince Williams. Got to sit down next year.
Okay. Listen.
All white. If you ain't white, you ain't right.
Listen, I think Terrell Edmonds has really improved his game. Last year, he was a big target, but this year he's making tackles in the open field. He's had a couple big plays. He ended a couple games with a game-winning sack. So he's definitely improved a lot. I was really disappointed when they drafted him in the first round, but he's finally stepping up. He's learning the position well, and he's allowing Minka to do what he needs to do. So I definitely think I'd give that to Terrell Edmonds. I was writing him out of the league, but he's proven that he can be a solid playmaker. So I stand corrected on that. All right.
He's a bum. He's a bum. He's still a bum. How many interceptions he got? He got 0 interceptions in his career. He's a strong safety. Listen, here's the people that play strong safety.
He's playing much better. Jim, is he playing better than last year?
Donnie Shell, Cornell Lake. Does he look like
I never said he was dumb.
No, he looks like the other bum, Lee throwing flowers. He looked like me throwing flowers.
Don't put words in my mouth. I just said he's most improved. I was writing him out of the league, and he's proven he can play in the league. Listen, he is not the super weak link that he was through the years. He's definitely played a lot better, made open field tackles, got pressure on the quarterback, has been close to receivers. He has improved his game, Jim. I don't want to hear that stuff. Maybe he wasn't worthy of another number one pick, but he's definitely proved that he can be in this league. And I didn't think that was possible before. So go ahead and hate all you want.
Only reason he went number one is Coach Tomlin went to the prom with his mama.
Oh, here you go with your fake news, Jim. You get that off Wikipedia. Where's the proof? Where's the proof, Jim?
Wikipedia.
All right. All right. How about Claudio? Bring us home. How about biggest disappointment?
Well, real quick, we talk about biggest surprise and most improved. I got to throw in Tyson Alualu has been a big surprise as well. Biggest disappointment, I think, and not necessarily going to blame him for it, but I'm going to blame the coaching staff for not committing to him because I thought he was going to be a big-time home run hitter for them, and that's Anthony McFarland. He has not done well. I don't think they've used him properly. I said at the beginning when they drafted him, I think he's the type of guy who might go for 3 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, 30 yards. You got to give him the ball more. And I don't think they've used him well. So, from my eyes, I'm not going to blame him totally. I'm blaming the coaching staff as well, both parties. But I expected more out of him this year.
Okay. All right. Smoker Jim, who do you have on that one?
Biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment, yes.
Biggest disappointment is the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff for not promoting the backup quarterback. Duck beat Cincinnati before. He could beat them again. Listen, Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph is your backup quarterback. He looked like a deer with a headlights. He's not a leader. Your quarterback got to be a leader. Listen, you can't be a leader without no followers. Listen, when a duck comes into the game, listen, Duck had half the team going duck hunting last year. Mason Rudolph can throw a barbecue cookout, and the only person that'll show up is me.
Wow. Okay. Chill's crazy. Definitely different. Biggest disappointment for me is James Conner. Hasn't been able to get that running game going. I thought they'd be a lot better. 4th and 1s, they lose yardage. The line hasn't been great in run blocking, but still, I'm really disappointed in his game. I thought he'd be at least a solid addition. But right now, the reason we're struggling is because we can't end the game on the ground. That's not all his fault. That's also partly the offensive line hasn't been opening holes. But I'm very disappointed in James Conner this year. I was expecting much more right now.
Luther. Just think, if we'd had a first-round choice, we could have had your feature running back.
There you go. All right. Now,
You know it.
Hey, I like Minka. That was the right move. Anyway, let's go. Last question. Rookie of the half season. Who do you got, Jim? I think we'll all agree on this one. Rookie half season. Who you got?
Like I said on draft day, you disagree with me, Luther. You thought the Steelers should have took some running back. But listen, I said Chase Claypool would be the greatest wide receiver in Steeler history when they drafted him. A lot of things I liked about this guy. He's from Canada, and he worked his way up. He went to Notre Dame, did a great job there. All his friends are white, so you ain't got to worry about no locker room problem. You ain't got to worry about him running the midfield. You don't got to worry about him running the midfield to the Dallas Star. We get about half your team suspended for the next game against Cincinnati. I told you before, that's a problem waiting to happen. That's a loose locker room in there. But luckily, they got a guy like Chase Claypool. And I tell you what, 7 touchdowns, and he's being very ignored by Ben, but he should have a big game today.
Yeah, I think we're all going to say that. All right, Claudio, same thing.
Of course, Claypool without question. Although I always have a hard time saying that a wide receiver is better than Swan and Stallworth, or back to Watt being better than Joe Green, Lambert, Ham. I just have a hard time saying that these guys are better than that group. But nonetheless, that's another topic. But I think Claypool, hands down, is the Steelers' rookie of the year without question.
Of course, yeah, we all have to agree. There's no question. He's came in, made a big splash. In fact, a lot of games he's getting double covered as a rookie receiver, and that's why he's not getting the throws. Ben, come on, give that credit. And he's a rookie. He has a double coverage. Pardon me?
Yep. And Dotson's doing a nice job too.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get into this, guys. Let's start with the Steelers D versus the Bengals offense. Smoker Jim, why don't you start us off on this one?
Well, first of all, the Steelers can't cover nobody in the pass. If the ball don't get tipped and bounced around, and Mika Fitzpatrick wasn't covering nobody when he intercepted that pass around the goal line. He was covering grass. But listen, the Cincinnati Bengals got 3 outstanding wide receivers. AJ Green, your boy from Clareton, and Higgins. These guys is big, fast, young. They'll get open. You got to love Joey Burrows as a rookie quarterback, probably the second best rookie quarterback in the NFL, behind Herbert from San Diego, who's outstanding.
Okay. Okay. All right. Claudio.
Burrows has been sacked 28 times this year, and that's with getting rid of the ball quick. Okay, the Steelers definitely have to continue to put pressure. Now, unlike what they did last week, they have to put pressure on Burrow because he can hurt them. And I think Cincinnati depends a lot on yards after catch. So, which means they're going to have to not go for the splash play all the time. In New England, what's their phrase? Do your job. Do your job. So whatever your job is, do your job. Don't try to be a hero. If they do their job and not try to make the big splash play, because you can live by the splash play and you can die by the splash play, then I think they're going to do a good job against Cincinnati. Now, Mixon, I think, is out, but the Steelers have had it's without the key guy like last week. Pollard did pretty good against them as opposed to Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
So I don't know if that's lack of focus. I don't know if that's lack of a bad defensive play calling. I'll say this, and Jim, as far as I know, is the only one who said it. I mean, people were talking about this Steeler defense being as good as the Steel Curtain, which I never agreed with that. They're in the top three defenses, and they might be in the top three defenses. I don't know, but Jim's the only one who said that they're average, maybe a little bit above average defense. So, but now I think is the time for them to turn it up. And again, I'll get to that in my huddle up as well. But I think this is a type of week against a type of opponent that they should just dominate. Do your job, put pressure on Burrow, make him. He's going to throw quick anyway. Tackle those guys so they don't get a chance to run. They do have a great set of wide receivers, that's for sure. But again, do your job, tackle those guys. Don't worry about the splash play. And I think the defense will and focus on that running game, stop the running game, put more of the emphasis on Burrow. And I think the Steelers will have a pretty good day with that.
Yeah, Burrow's proven he's definitely worthy of that number one pick. But today I think he's going to get too much pressure against the blitz. He hasn't been great. The deep ball, he's only about 7-37 for passes over 20 yards. I think we finally get back to pressuring that quarterback, Dupree, Watt, Tuitt, and Hayward, really get into him. Burrow's going to have a long day.
Why didn't they do this last week? I have no idea. I think they were trying to be too cute. They were trying to outcoach the coach and outcoach themselves. I know, they know that we're going to do this, so we're not going to do it. But why didn't they put more pressure on Gilbert last week?
You know what they were doing? They were trying a lot of different things. If you saw, sometimes they had Dupree, Watt, and also Highsmith in there. They had Dupree coming up the middle. They were trying some things out. It was obvious that they were trying different things out against the Cowboys, and that's why they didn't look good. I didn't agree with.
That's like you telling Mike Tyson to go into a fight and just jab. Don't use the big shot. Don't use the big right-handed punch. I mean, you have the better team. You have the ability to blitz, make sacks, put pressure on a quarterback. Don't play games. You're a better team, better players. Let's do it. I just didn't think that was a good idea, and I hope that they change their game plan this week. Jim, I was curious, what do you think about that?
Well, the thing is, Mike Mularkey, in my opinion, is a Hall of Fame coach. 127 wins, Super Bowl victory over Mike Tomlin. Listen, don't forget when Mike Mularkey
won this year, Jim. Get out of here.
When Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay, his defensive coordinator was Dom Capers, who came up under the Steelers system with Dick LeBeau. So he understands the zone blitz defense and all of that. So the Pittsburgh Steelers was, like you said, too cautious because they had respect for a Hall of Fame coach like Mike McCarthy. And don't forget, Mike McCarthy, the Dallas Cowboys got 0 calls after their one rookie offensive tackle. And don't forget, their rookie center pulls a hamstring in pregame warmups. He couldn't even play. So the no-name offensive line had a rookie right tackle that lined up in the backfield, and they got a flag thrown on him, which was a good flag. McCarthy got his Irish up and started chewing out the referees. And I said, after that, they're going to call calls after calls after calls. The referees took that game away from the Cowboys because McCarthy chewed out the referee. You guys got to admit that.
All right. All right. That's fake news. All right. I don't think that at all. Let's move on. Steelers over versus Bengals defense. Claudia, why don't you start us off with that one?
They have to. The running game has not been great the past couple of weeks, and I think it's because they have not committed to their running game at all. And starting now, in my opinion, I would keep it. I would turn it up now with the running game because you're going to need a running game to be successful in the playoffs, in my opinion, especially with bad weather and things of that nature. So I sound like Tomlin and things of that nature. But I would do the running game. I would commit to the running game. Okay, keep the Cincinnati offense and Pittsburgh Steelers defense off of the field, and then give them less opportunities to score. Do your short passes, hit all your targets. I'm not saying that, but if you commit to the run and it's successful, okay, and again you're leaving the Cincinnati offense off of the field, and you're giving your defense more time to rest, I think this is a good recipe / formula for Cincinnati to score under 10 points. So that's what I would do. That's my game plan. And Cincinnati's defense is okay, but I definitely think the Steelers can find the holes both in passing and running. Use the passing game when needed, but I would commit to the running game.
Definitely agree. It'd be nice if they could run against the Bengals, but I think this is a time for Ben. He hasn't had that game where he's put up great passing yards numbers. I think Chase Claypool gets going again against this secondary. I think Juju's been on fire the last couple games. I don't care what you say, Jim. He's been making plays. Third down, he's been huge, catching balls at the 5-yard, carrying two guys into the end zone. I don't care if he likes to dance. I don't care if he likes to do YouTube videos and all that. All I care about is him making plays and getting into the end zone. So that's all I'm worried about right now, Smoking Jim. Connor has to get going. The running game has not been good for most of this season. The fact that we're 8-0, I think, is a testament to great adjustments because, we had a lot of games we could have lost, but Tomlin, as a Hall of Fame coach does, he kept the team at bay. They made the plays they have to. And I think this is good. They've had a lot of adversity, and that's going to make them stronger for the playoffs. So I'm definitely, high on what our offense is going to be able to do against this Bengals defense. I think this is a game we blow them out. We haven't had too many of those this year. Mike Hilton is back. Tyson is back. The defense is going to cause some more turnovers, and Steelers will cash it with touchdowns. I don't see much happening on this one. All right, let's go to our last topic as we wrap up.
I didn't get a chance to comment on that.
Okay, well, jump in, Smoker Jim.
Well, first of all, to address what Claudio said, hey, listen, McFarland right now, again, he can't learn the plays. That's why they can't play him. They can only give him a handful of plays. I wonder what his Wonderlic test looked like. Again, he was only drafted. He was only drafted because, Maryland gave Coach Tomlin's son a scholarship, even though he never made an all-star team. Hey, listen, I would put him back on kickoff returns only. Let him use his speed. You don't have to think doing that. Benny slow as snail. Told you again, too slow to play in this league. He's averaging 1.6 yards a carry. And we really don't know if James Conner hit the wall. He hasn't been looking good. They can't run the football. But listen, Ben is a throwing machine. He got, like Claudio and Luther's always said, the Steelers got some of the best weapons in the National Football League. I think they'll throw today. Don't forget, they're predicting high winds today. So far, we're in Pittsburgh. Right. I haven't seen any high winds because I still got leaves on my grass. I'm waiting for them to get blown in my neighbor's yard like they do every year with the high wind. It hasn't happened yet. But, hey, I'm looking for a high-scoring shootout today. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with Claudio. You ready? We're going to get to our special segment. The one and only, everybody looks for these every time. Let's go with our Claudio's huddle up.
Steelers are 8-0, obviously, but no one can say they've peaked or even come close to it. Boxers like to say when they're in training camp, we like to peak maybe about a week before the fight starts, okay? Steelers are nowhere near peaking. They're still 8-0. They're winning ugly sometimes. They haven't put they haven't put together 4 quarters of football other than the Cleveland game, I believe. So that's a good thing. You can look at the glass half full, half empty. Okay, say yeah, we're 8-0. We haven't played our best yet. Nobody really has. Okay, so now look how much room we have to grow. Look how much room we have to get better, and we're 8-0. So I think this is a good thing, and I think they'll peak they have a shot to peak at the right time, but I think it starts today.
Okay,
has to start today.
Exactly. All right, Smoking Jim.
I agree with. I agree wholeheartedly with Claudio. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-0. They played a bunch of bum teams. The best team they played was Tennessee, and Tennessee lost their last 3 games in a row. You know what I mean? Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers only played one legitimate team. That's the Baltimore Ravens. They ran for 300 yards, ran up and down the field on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers have yet to play a team that can pass, and they got it today. They playing Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows' only problem is he looks exactly like the kid from Home Alone, and that's where he'll be during the playoffs. Hey, listen, I don't know why this kid makes a lot of bad decisions. Why would you go to Ohio State when you know they don't play no white quarterbacks? Even Art Schlichter bet he was never going to play there. But listen, this guy put up 60 touchdown passes in one season at LSU, a record that'll never be broken. That's like Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points in one game. So listen, he got the weapons at Cincinnati. They may not have their running back, Joe Mixon, but they got plenty of backs that can get out of the backfield and catch some passes. This is going to be a fun game to watch. DVR it, because this is a tape you want to keep forever. It's going to be a high-scoring shootout. I can't wait. Big Ben is the Michael Jordan of the AFC North. Any young quarterback like Lamar Jackson, he don't lose to. So Big Ben is going to play his best because he don't like to lose to first-time quarterbacks.
Luther, Jim has the over again.
Right, of course. Definitely has the over. Oh my goodness. All right, listen. 8-0. The Steelers still have yet to peak, as Claudio said. All I hear every week is how the Steelers should have lost. The Steelers should have done this. Listen, it's a week to week. Tampa Bay just got blasted by New Orleans. It happens. 16 weeks. I didn't expect them to go 16-0, but they're 8-0 right now. You know, they always peak later in the season. They've had some injuries. They've had a couple season-ending injuries on the defense with Devin Bush. But they're coming together. Hilton's back. Tyson Alualu is back. They have the Hall of Fame coach that has had these guys rolling. Ben is on a mission to prove he's going to get that comeback player of the year. They're okay. You know, the offense has clicked at points, but they haven't had a full, complete game yet. It's coming. And I think we may get that game today. Bengals have been in a lot of close games. Their record could be a lot different than 2-5, but they have a young quarterback, suspect defense, players that don't want to be there. I think this is the game we go back to beating up this AFC North, the Ohio teams. Look for Big Ben to throw for about 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Corner may finally get his second 100-yard game, second or third. But just calm down. They're in a good place, 8-0, and they haven't peaked yet. So that's what you want from a team. Give this team credit. Tomlin, again, stop riding him. We have a Hall of Fame coach, the third one in a row. Let him do his thing, and we're going to end up with number 7. All right, let's go with our predictions. Smoking Jim, what you got for us?
I think the Steelers peaked a few weeks ago. They're on a downhill slide right now.
Garbage.
Hey, listen, I think it's going to be a great game. The Pittsburgh Steelers can't stop the pass. That's what the Cincinnati Bengals do. I'm predicting the Cincinnati Bengals coming here off a bye week, fresh young legs, 42-35 Cincinnati Bengals.
He definitely has the over. Has the over.
What? Oh, my goodness. Claudia, what do you got here?
All right, I have Cincinnati 75, Pittsburgh 40. No. I got Pittsburgh winning 31-19.
31
Steelers 31, Cincinnati 19.
Okay, I like that score. I think the offense is going to have an explosion. I think Burrows is going to be under pressure, maybe throw a pick or two. I think they're not going to be able to run the ball against the Steelers, and I got the Steelers 30-10 as well. I think we finally get on the right track offensively. Defensively, we get healthy. Guys are back, and we start, getting back to Steelers football. They're not going to run on us. They're not going to pass on us. 30-10. Jim, you're going to be wrong again. I don't know what's going on now with the casino, Joe. You must be hurting bad because you've been wrong at least half the games for the Steelers. 30-10. We got this. Come on now. Real quick, let's get to our predictions for fantasy. Ben, player sit. Claudia, what do you have there?
Got to play him.
Smoking Jim? Well, he's white.
Yeah.
You can play him, I know, right? Go ahead, Jim.
Penn State and Michigan is killing me this year, but you got to play Big Ben.
Man, Penn State and Michigan look horrible. Are those coaches in trouble? I think Harbaugh should have been in trouble, but he's a Harbaugh. Yeah. Somehow they have a way to just stay when they're doing mediocre and wait.
In Dallas.
He'll be in Dallas. Oh, you're only giving McCarthy 1 year?
Okay. I didn't say he was coaching. He'll be in Dallas. I don't know what he's going to do in Dallas. He's going to be in Dallas.
All right. All right, Jim. You said play. All right. I'm also going to say play, Ben. All right. How about running back corner? Can he finally get back going? Smoking Jim, would you play him or sit him?
Well, again, number 28 in that Samoan nose guard. Last I checked, they ain't all pros. So, saying that they're going to make a difference. But Steelers don't have no running back. So I would sit corner.
All right. Claudia?
Well, I'm going to say play him because at the beginning of the show, during the show, I said they have to establish the running game. I think this is the game that they're going to try to establish it, make Connor the workhorse. I'm going to say play him.
Yeah, he's had some decent games against the Bengals. I think he'll get maybe 80 yards, maybe a touchdown. Hopefully they could get McFarland in a little bit. So I'd say play him. I mean, he's not going to get you great points, but I can see him getting 80 yards and a touchdown. Hopefully McFarland can work it in. I like some of the plays they were running for McFarland earlier in the season, trying to get him outside in space. They haven't done that too much. He's missed a couple blocking assignments. And when he had room, he slipped a couple times. But I think as the year goes on, he'll get more and more comfortable. He just didn't jump on as quick as Chase Claypool. So I'm not saying, Jim, I'm not saying that. I just think it's just a matter of time before he gets going, man. How about wide receivers? Smokey Jim's favorite receiver, Juju, or Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Washington. What do you think? Do you play any of the receivers or all of them? What you got?
I would get rid of Juju before he hurts the team. Running out to the Dallas Star would have really hurt the team. It'd have been a melee of fights, a suspension. But I would only play the other brother. 18 is a brittle brother. Get hurt every time he get tackled. So I would play the greatest wide receiver still in history, Chase Claypool. He had a bad game last week. Still had 8 catches.
A bad game. All right, Claudia. What do you say? You play Juju or Chase?
Claypool and Washington.
Okay.
I get Claypool and the 4th best wide receiver in Steeler history, Washington.
All right. Listen, I say yes, I played Juju. He's had some good games against Cincinnati. He's had some knockout blocks. I remember he knocked out Burfict. But I say play Juju. He's on a roll right now. He knows it's a contract year. He's fighting from the 5-yard line to get into the end zone. Claypool, I think he finally gets back on track. I'm not sure that they're going to double team him for Cincinnati or slide coverage this way. I say play both of those guys. Washington, I need him to play a little more. I mean, he's a guy, he's always open. He runs that out and up. He runs great patterns, great hands. This year, he's not dropping the ball. I'd like to see him get the ball a little more for sure. But Deontay Johnson, again, nobody covers him in one-on-one. It seems like he always makes a player miss. It's just the injury bug you got to really worry about with him sometimes. So definitely play Claypool and Juju. I'm not sure about Washington. You can't play him because you never know what his playing time is going to be like. So I say play both of those guys. How about tight end, Smoking Jim?
You got to play number 85. This guy is a wide receiver that's leaping over, hurling over defenders. What athleticism, man. You know what I mean? You got to play him. You can't play Vance McDonald because he's in the bubble.
All right, Claudia. I did.
I agree with Jim. I'm not disagreeing with him there. You got to play Ebron.
Oh, goodness, man. Jim, you're a mess for that one. Hey, listen, yes, you got to play Abram. When he's holding on the ball, not dropping it. Before, you were on him because he was dropping it. But he's finally making it. A couple years ago, he had 13 touchdowns with the Indianapolis Colts. He's on his way right now. Him and Ben had that connection. Guys can't cover him. He's too fast for the linebackers, too big for the safeties. He's a mismatch. That's why he was drafted so high in the first round. And I think with Ben is just opening him up like he was a couple years ago in Indianapolis. So, yeah, I definitely play him. How about the Steelers defense? You play them, Claudia?
Without question. I'm expecting them to have a big game, especially if they do what I said, and that's keep the Cincinnati offense off of the field, run the ball, kill the clock. I don't expect – originally I was going to say 31-10. Like you said 30-10, but I gave Cincinnati a few more points, but I definitely would play them, and I expect some turnovers as well.
Okay. All right, Smoking Jim?
I can't play a defense that's going to give up 500 yards today. They're going to get shredded. They're going to get shredded.
I'm with Claudio again on this. I see the Steelers shutting down the Bengals run game, and Burrow, they're going to make him look like a rookie. They love feasting on rookies. I think they're going to get back to that. Hilton's back. Look for Hilton to come around the side. Burrows is not used to a slot corner doing that. He's going to get sacked a couple times. Dupree and Watt really put a lot of heat on him. Play the Steelers defense.
If we're wrong, Luther. If we're wrong, Jim's going to get on this now. You know that.
Well, Jim been wrong for a whole month straight. So
hey, Luther.
We're due.
Hey, Luther. Will this be another game that Mika Fitzpatrick will be closer to the man in the concession stand than he is the receivers?
Mika's been making plays. He's been ending the game, knocking the passes down. I don't know what the deal is with Mika. He had to get in shape. He didn't have the offseason.
Jim had him dead a few weeks ago. Luther, Jim had him dead. He had him dead a few weeks ago.
Hey, Claudio.
Yo.
Hey, Claudio. I got a 90-inch TV, and I got a hard time finding Mika on my screen.
Well, I don't know what you looked at, because the last couple of days, he's made the game saving pass defense, a couple interceptions, even a pick six. So he's doing this. He's coming back in his thing.
I'm looking for 39. I thought I seen 28 last week, more than I seen 39.
Stop. Hey, guys, we're out of time, man. That was definitely good. We'll see. We got our predictions. Steelers look good. Make sure you check out the game. Jim, I'm glad you remembered to come on. You didn't miss it like the city championship game the other night. I appreciate that. Hey, but again, man, I want to thank Claudio, the Hall of Famer, Spoken Jim, the Hall of Famer. I'm Luther Dupree. And as always, man, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll check you out next time. Peace.